You know, sometimes we call something a dev kit, and that means consumers should stay away, but there are other times where a dev kit might be ready for more general public consumption. Hey folks, this episode of Some Gadget Guy is brought to you by you. Yes, you, all of the amazing people who share content on social media, and the awesome generosity of my patrons on patreon.com/somegadgetguy. More info on those amazing nerds later in the video. I wish I were really breaking news here. These are the Vuzix Z100. Well, actually, this is the case for the Z100. These are the Vuzix Z100. The folks at Vuzix sent this my way because I've been hounding them for roughly 9 years now. I actually do hold this as one of the great failures of my time at Pocketnow, where I would try to reach out to other companies and brands and try to expand on conversations about technology. Vuzix is a company that works mostly in the warehouse and industrial space. I don't think it would be too surprising, even in my audience, if most people hadn't heard of the company Vuzix. But that was something I wanted to change when I was at a bigger website. Was just starting to talk about this expanding use of face optical systems. Obviously, I lost that battle, but over the years, I've had a great time going to trade shows and other events where I'd run into the Vuzix team and talk to them at their booths and nerd out on all of their face display systems. The tech that I'm showing here, the Z100, have actually been in the conversation since 2023. Vuzix was working on a platform that could maybe appeal to other companies. They're looking to license this technology or just show the practical use of this technology. So they finally took pity on me and sent me a pair of Z100s. So they're calling this a dev kit, but we should probably explain the hardware first. This is a very, very lightweight pair of sunglasses with a waveguide optic built into the right lens. You can kind of think of this as like a really futuristic prism. I'm grossly oversimplifying the optical science, but there's like a little monochrome projector and these little ripple patterns that bounce light into an insert in the eye, and then information is presented right at eye level. Waveguides have become one of my favorite ways to make a discrete optical system. There's no big Borg implant that sticks out in front of the glasses like Google Glass. It's even more discreet than the projector system on my beloved Focals by North, and it's exceedingly rare that anyone notices I've got anything going on with my sunglasses when I wear these. I'm getting notifications and alerts and information right up at eye level, and it's taking me out of social situations less than if I have to pull out my phone or even look down at a smartwatch, which is a really rude gesture. Plus, they're just phenomenally lightweight, so I can wear them for really long stretches of time. Now, obviously, these are a sunglasses style presentation, so you haven't seen me wearing them during videos much. I don't want to be that guy who wears my sunglasses indoors. But when I'm out and about, these things have been clutch. I like knowing that if something buzzes on my wrist or buzzes in my pocket, that I'm gonna get that information up at my eye, and I can quickly decide if that's something I need to pay attention to, or if I can just get on with my day. It's a gatekeeper experience that I cannot overstate the value of how discreet, immediate, and less distracting that really is. Vuzix making it very clear that this is a kit for developers, but they've recently had a price cut and they're confident that other people could try this experience just to get a sense of what it's like. So few people really do understand what this is like. Every time I take my glasses off and put them on someone else's face, it's like I'm slingshotting them 10 years into the future. It's a massive failing of tech reviewers that we keep writing this experience off because we're waiting for rich AR, Terminator, Iron Man vision from bigger companies like Apple and Facebook. Because even Iron Man isn't really doing AR. That's a mixed reality headset. But I digress. Even for the presentation of this being a dev kit, Vuzix does have an app that kind of helps demonstrate what the potential of these glasses might be. For me, you start with that core foundation of just at-a-glance information. You look down at a watch and you want small pieces of information. You want the same thing when that information is up at eye level. Anything that's gonna ping your phone's lock screen is just gonna be up at eye level. That all on its own could justify the price of these glasses. Some of it's pretty rudimentary, like just putting a graphic up at eye level, like if you're into golfing. This isn't a real map, but they're already working on tools like speech-to-text transcription, maybe an additional solution for someone who might be hard of hearing or recently experienced hearing loss, and you can see almost in real time what someone is saying just typed out right in front of your face. Of course, with the processing power in our phones, it's just a small step from there to start doing near real-time translation. And again, utilizing the processing power on your phone to download a language pack and then near real-time almost keep up in a flow of a conversation. The Vuzix hardware solution feels like just a nice pair of sunglasses. The software situation still feels that little half step behind some of the more polished consumer commercial experiences out there. But for me, it's exciting to see the basics done right. It's the little things, like I would love to have some additional control to scroll through previous notifications, or have just kind of a dock or a home so that I can quickly see maybe the date and the time and if I have a calendar appointment on that day. It's the little things in software that could totally be achieved just with this right now. And we totally know there's gonna be interest in this space, as other companies like Meta and Apple have been playing and tinkering with face displays and VR headsets. We're seeing more projects pop up at this more practical level, this more accessible level. The hardware consumers can actually afford to buy and use as a daily tech accessory. I've talked about a couple other glasses in the past, often hinged on this, let's really promote the AI on your face. But still, software development is software development. And one other project that I'd love to highlight is Augment OS, the open source operating system for smart glasses. They've got little applets that plug into their core app that runs on your phone, and that can take the place of the software that talks directly to your glasses. And currently, Augment OS is supporting two of my favorite options in this space, the Z100 and the Evan Realities G1. It's an interesting way to tie different pieces of hardware to a similar framework, so developers don't need to reinvent the wheel. If they want to make an app for the Z100, then they need to figure out a different way to make an app for the Evan Realities or the TCL Ray Neos or the Hallidays. But that's really one of the big hooks, and something that I think Vuzix is demonstrating very well in the Z100. Would you want to put these on and wear them for long periods of time? If you're talking about a rich AR experience, that augmented spatial computing thing doesn't work very well when we're talking about smaller field of view optics. The original HoloLens was panned for this kind of presentation where you have this porthole. You can't make the entire lens immersive for AR. So when things are happening and they're relating to your environment, you have to move your head around to find where that augmented reality is. While Meta deserves a lot of credit for shrinking HoloLens into a smaller pair of glasses, they still can't run for very long on a single charge, and we still haven't solved for some of the basic issues in this style of lens. I'm very confident Meta is going to get a dev kit out in the next year or two, but that's going to be another excessively expensive dev kit, which is still landing on the same issues we've been criticizing since the launch of HoloLens over 8 years ago. Or for a lot less, you could pick up something today that already delivers a practical experience that complements your phone really well. I'm excited to be talking about these glasses. I'm excited to be wearing these glasses. These are in regular rotation, complementing my different phones and reviews. I'm kind of putting this out there as a tech enthusiast midpoint. You don't have to tinker to get that basic experience going, but if you like to play around with other apps and services, there's room to grow here. You, right now, can play with a bleeding edge accessory experience, starting price $499 for clear lenses or tinted sunglasses. And from the hardware perspective, that's kind of blowing my mind how much this tech has fallen in price since the initial reveal of Google Glass all those years ago. How much more discreet, how much more comfortable, they can last for days on a single charge. And it just makes me so sad how we keep telling people to wait. Google Glass came out 13 years ago and people said wait because we know Apple will do it better. Apple just canceled yet another tethered glasses product, and techies are still saying, but don't buy anything currently available because we know Apple will do it better eventually. 13 years later, we're still waiting for Apple to do it better, and we still have techies saying Apple doing nothing in this space is better than the things you can actually buy. That is some crazy mental gymnastics. That is some awesome hoop jumping to satisfy the bias of an Apple fandom community, but I digress. Vuzix has something you can buy and try right now. Are you going to recommend these to your not very tech savvy aunts and uncles who are just getting into Bluetooth wireless earbuds? No, you're not. But if you're watching a channel like mine, something tells me you're a little bit more of an enthusiast, you're a little techier than the average bear, this is ready. This is ready to take on a test drive. This is fun to tinker with. This is presenting something you probably have never experienced if you haven't gotten your face into some kind of face display. So I will, of course, leave some links down below for more information on the Vuzix Z100. I am very impressed with this presentation. I'm really happy to kind of expand on this conversation. Vuzix is a company that I've been watching and following for years now, and finally getting the chance to live with one of their experiences has been eye-opening, to say the least. I'm pretty passionate about this space. I think that's probably obvious at this point. I've been following it since the launch of Google Glass, and I love covering and digging into these types of products. The folks who get to see the results of my testing and reviewing first are my amazing patrons. All of those awesome folks on patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. This list of names scrolling by on your screen. A huge thank you from the bottom of my heart, as these are the folks that are helping to keep the lights on here in the Gadget Lab. They're basically the coolest tech pals in the universe, so I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet, at SomeGadgetGuy, basically everywhere, but these days, I'm trying to spend a bit more time on the Mastodons and the Blueskis, a lot less so on the Facebooks and the Threads and the Instagrams, and definitely not on that dumpster fire site, and I will catch you all on the next review.